I'm Clever Ghoul, but you can call me Nikki. Welcome back to the channel! It's only a week before Valentine's Day, and I wanted to give you a fun, simple craft for that. So this week I'm showing you how to make a Victorian puzzle purse to give to your Valentine. These actually predate the Victorian era. They originally started in Japan as tatogami, which was the precursor to origami, but they became really popular during the Victorian era. And you'll be able to find so many examples online if you search for Victorian puzzle purse or Victorian puzzle letter. This project mainly involves folding and drawing, and it seems a lot more difficult than it actually is. So with that being said, let's get into it. For materials, you'll need the following. Paper. Ideally, you'll start with a square piece of paper, but I'm going to walk you through how to make a square out of a rectangle. A ruler, an X-Acto knife or scissors, and anything that you're going to use to draw on and decorate your letter. I would recommend starting with pencil and then erasing as you go to add in pen or colored pencil or Posca markers or whatever other medium you would like to use. Like I said, you want to start with a square, so you can either use paper that is already cut that way, or you can turn a rectangular piece into a square by folding one corner down to meet the edge and folding. Then, lightly mark with a pencil along the edge of that fold. Next, unfold and cut along that line, either very carefully with scissors or with an X-Acto knife and a ruler. Now that you have your square, you want to divide the length by 3 and mark that on the top edges of each side. For me, that was about 7.25 centimeters. Then you want to fold along those marks. Rotate the square and fold again on the marks so that you have a 3x3 grid going across the whole square. Next, fold the top right corner down to make a triangle that covers the top 4 squares in the grid. Then unfold, rotate, and do that with each corner until you're left with these diagonal lines. Now we're going to bring everything together to make sort of a windmill shape. This is really hard to explain, so I recommend just watching carefully and rewatching if you need to figure out how to do this. Once you have this windmill shape, you're going to fold the corners up and on top of the square, tucking in some of the edges so that everything is closed up. Now it's time to start decorating your Valentine. I like to start with drawing while everything is folded and working my way down into the middle. I also like to start with pencil and then go over my work with ink or whatever medium I'm going to use. For the top, I'm drawing a heart with flowers. Then I unfold that part and start drawing in the details on the next portion of the paper. It's good to test out different designs here and see how you like it once everything is opened up. Then I open it again and you can see the design I just made. I move on to adding in details around where the message will go, and then draw inside the negative spaces that are left over. Once I was done with the pencil layout, I went in with Posca markers and colored pencils. You can use any medium you want here and go for any style. I wanted this to be red and white, but you can customize this to look however you like. I do recommend testing out your pens on a scrap piece of the same paper you used to make your letter to make sure that nothing bleeds through. I knew my paper was thick enough for Posca markers, but yours may not be, so it doesn't hurt to do a test first. I kept drawing until I was satisfied, which means it's time for the reveal. Here here it is. I'm not the biggest Valentine's Day person, but I had a lot of fun making this and I would definitely do it again. I went with a cat theme, but you could make this super personal and specific to the person you're giving it to. Add inside jokes, lyrics from your favorite songs, drawings of your pets, you know, stuff like that. And of course, you can design this to be full of color or do a more monochromatic scheme like I did. This is such a customizable craft. I really tried to explain the folding to the best of my ability, but if you need further instructions, you can find so many online. I'm a visual learner, so I really struggled with explaining some of the folds, but I hope that they make sense. I really do think this is a project anyone can do, and it's such a fun way to make a Valentine. Will you make one of these for your Valentine? And what sort of theme or design direction would you choose? I would love to hear all about it, so let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!